Do we have a mic for the harmonium, Prabhu?
आ जाओ कोई नहीं अपने ही बच्चे
Hare Krishna,
2 सेकंड मत
Hare Krishna,
वर्तिका 2 मिनट पकड़ेगी बेटा मुझे तो स्टैंड
Krishna
लगा के
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा
Krishna.
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे राम
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hayo. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hare Krishna Prabhus, Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhus, Hare Krishna Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki. So on behalf of the devotees, we want to welcome everyone for this evening's program. It's so nice to see so many devotees gathered so early, and there is a good reason for it. As you all can see, we have His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu here with us at the Gauranga Center. Actually, it feels awkward even introducing Prabhu because I think all of you very well know who Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is. But I think it's in right order that we do a proper introduction. Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he is one of the prolific preachers that you would see in our movement at this point in time. Prabhupada had always mentioned that we must have devotees, but we also must have devotees who are scholars. And actually the emblem of that instruction of Prabhupada are actually devotees like Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. You all have heard of the Bhaktivedanta Vidyapith. That is the most serious school of study of Shastra within ISKCON, and Prabhu is one of the originators of that school. He is the dean of the school, and the curriculum that you see in that school is actually created by Prabhu. He's been lecturing all around the world. This is the last leg of his travels. 10 weeks he's been traveling to US, Australia, New Zealand, so many countries. In Singapore, the last leg, he's only spending 2 days, but he's promised us the next time he comes through, he's going to spend at least a week in Singapore conducting more programs. So very happy to have Prabhu here. Can we have 3 loud Haribols for Prabhu?
Haribol! Haribol! Haribol!
Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki.
अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगमयी की यमुनामयी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलियुगावतार हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 text number 21 तेतं भुक्त्वा सर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते एतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते एतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते एतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गदाधरं कामकामालभन्ते
तेतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम्
तेनं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम्
ये पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना
एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना
तथागतं कामकामालभन्ते
गदाधरं कामकामालभन्ते
एतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालिने पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना
एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना
गतागतं कामकामालभन्ते
गदाधरं कामकामालभन्ते
एतं भुक्त्वा
स्वर्गलोकं विशालम्
क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति
एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना
एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना
गतागतं कामकामालभन्ते
गदाधरं कामकामालभन्ते ते तं that bhuktva enjoying swargalokam heaven vishalam vast shine being exhausted punye merits vartyalokam outer earth vishanti fall down evam thus three Vedas dharmam doctrines anuprapannaha following gata agatam death and birth kama kamaha desiring sense enjoyments labhante attain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. When they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, through the Vedic principles, they achieve only flickering happiness. Purport. One who is promoted to those higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. Yet, one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earthly planet upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge, as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra Janmatyasya Yataha, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled in achieving the ultimate goal of life, and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets, and then again coming down, and if situated on a Ferris wheel, which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. The purport is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, where there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to this miserable material existence. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Gitapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। To be amongst all of you today in this great assembly of devotees at Singapore, I offer my humble obeisances to His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu and all the senior devotees who are assembled here this evening. We are reading from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna has revealed his heart. Srimad Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, and these 18 chapters of Gita is considered the essence of all Upanishads. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsah sudhir bhokta dugdham Gitamritam mahat. We compare all the Upanishads with a wonderful cow that gives profuse quantities of milk, and that nectarian milk of that cow is Bhagavad Gita. And the milkman is Lord Sri Krishna, and the calf is Arjuna. Thus, Gita is considered the essence of all Upanishads, the milk of all the Upanishads, which are in the form of a cow. Ocean, nectar comes out. Similarly, you change the ocean of all the Upanishads, Gita comes. He describes the glory of Bhakti Yoga, Vedeshu Yajneshu. He describes the glory of Bhakti Yoga, Vedeshu Yajneshu Tapassu Chaiva Daneshu Yat Punya Bhala Pradishtam Atyadi Tatsamavidam Vidhitva Yogi Param Sthanam Upayati Chadyam. The Bhakti Yogi is the topmost yogi. Krishna establishes that by the end of 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then he enters the 9th chapter of Gita. In the 9th chapter, Krishna gives most confidential knowledge. Earlier confidential knowledge in the form of 2nd chapter, Atma Tattva, and then other things about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Then in the 7th and 8th chapters, Krishna has given more that he reveals his heart completely. This 9th chapter, especially the series of shlokas that we are reading currently, they reveal the innermost feelings of Krishna for his devotees. He first establishes how bhakti is better than the other paths. In the current shloka that we have been reading some time back, Tetam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam kshide punye vartyalokam vishanti. Krishna said that you perform punya, you go to upper planets. Once the punya credits are exhausted, you come down to this lower planet, and the cycle of birth and death continues as Prabhupada writes, like Ferris wheel, going up, coming down, going up, coming down. But when you go to the spiritual world, you did not come back. That's the message here in this shloka. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam. Swargaloka is vishalam. Definitely very, very vast, very wide, very spacious. Vishalam means spacious. But the qualification, the prerequisite to enter that Vishala Swargaloka is punya, pious credits that are earned by doing so many pious activities like yajna, dana, tapa. But the results of these pious credits, ordinary materially pious credits, are so meager that they can only give a person, an individual, a limited tenure in the swarg. Maybe a little more tenure depending on the extent of sinful activity, extent of pious activities. Even if he happened to be the king of heaven, not like any ordinary resident of heaven, king of heaven, Indra, still the tenure is only one manvantara period. He cannot be the king of heaven for the eternity. Firstly, universe itself is not eternally existent. It exists only for one breathing period of Mahavishnu. So within that one breathing period of Mahavishnu, which is like 100 years of Brahma's lifetime, a manvantara is very, very short. Brahma lives for 100 years. And on each day of Brahma, there are 14 manvantaras, presided by 14 manus. And in each manvantara, there is a different Indra. Every manvantara, this universal management changes. Just like a nation, a country, a state is ruled by some administrators, some government representatives, and they keep changing every few years. Similarly, the universal government, the universal administrative system also is taken care of by some office bearers. Who are they? Manvantaro manurdeva manuputraha sureshwaraha Rishayo amshavatarascha hareha shadvidham uchyate. A manvantara is orchestrated by one, Manu, the presiding personality there. Deva, there are devatas, those who are taking care of various administrative affairs in this universe. Deva. Manuputraha, sons of Manu. Sureshwaraha, Indra, the king of the devatas. Then Rishaya, the 7 sages. Amshavataraha means Manvantara. These are the 6 kinds of office bearers who orchestrate the affairs within a Manvantara, which is about 71 Divya Yugas. Manvantaro, Manurdeva, Manuputraha, Sureshwara means this set of 7 rishis keep changing. There are 14 sets of Sapta rishis in one day of Brahma. There are 14 Indras in one day of Brahma. There are 14 sets of Devatas in one day of Brahma. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. There are 14 Manvantara avatars in one day of Brahma. So even if somebody happens to be the king of heaven, the rule is only 1/14 of one day of Brahma. What to speak of ordinary people who perform some pious activities like yajna, dana, tapa, etc. and go to Swargaloka. Within short time they will come down. It's not worth. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. Very Tetam bhuktva Swargalokam vishalam kshire punye martyalokam vishanti. When the punya is exhausted, martyalokam. Martyalokam means this material world, earthly planet. Earthly planet within this material world. Vishanti. They come down. Evam trayi dharma prapanna. They follow different dharmas, different kinds of pious activities and rituals prescribed or described in the Vedas. But most of the sections in the Vedas are within the purview of 3 material modes, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Therefore, right in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita only, Krishna declared that Vedas talk about 3 modes, you better give them up. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Vistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. The Vishaya, the main subject matter of Vedas is under the purview of 3 material modes, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Vistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, please come out of this material modes. But some people operate within the purview of 3 material modes, follow the Vedic prescriptions, and they attain punya, material piety, and go to the heavenly planets. But the sad news is they cannot stay there forever. They come down. Instead of doing this, better accumulate another flavor of punya. When you accumulate ordinary punya, then you will only get limited tenure in the material heaven. But when you accumulate spiritual punya, there is material punya that takes us to the heavenly planets, there is spiritual punya that takes us to the spiritual world. What is that? Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. That Shravana Kirtana is also Punya, Bhagavatam describes. But that Punya is not this Punya. That is also Punya, but that is spiritual piety that takes us to the spiritual world. But this is material piety that takes us to the material heaven. Shravana Kirtanaha, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hridayantastho hi abhadrani vidhunoti suhrut sata. The abhadras, the anarthas, the material qualities in the heart are destroyed by doing Shravana Kirtana, Smarana Vandana, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting his holy names, by remembering Krishna, by serving Krishna, serving Vaishnavas. We will attain spiritual punya that is permanent. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Now, ahead in this chapter, after describing the futility of ordinary punya and residence in spiritual material heaven, Krishna describes the glory of Bhakti Yoga ahead. And Prabhupada also writes in the purport that we have to perform devotional service and go to the spiritual world where we don't have to come back. The next sloka Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam, without thinking of anything else. Anya means something else. Ananya means nothing else. Ananya means without any distractions you worship only Krishna. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Chintayanto mam means be Krishna conscious always. Ye janaha pari upasati. Upasana means service, worship. Pari upasati means perfect worship. Ye janaha, whoever perfectly worships me without any distractions or deviations or allurements within the mind. Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam, person who is constantly engaged in my devotional service. You know what I do? Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I will take care of his yoga and kshema. This is the promise that Krishna gives. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Yoga means connecting with the Lord, connecting our consciousness with the Lord. That is yoga. Krishna says, I will take care of your yoga. Kshema means the protection that the Lord gives us, the prosperity that the Lord gives us. Kshemam. So, yoga means our attempt to connect with Krishna. Kshema means his attempt to protect us. And Krishna says, Yoga kshemam vahami aham. Vahami means I will carry. Aham means I will personally carry. He does not delegate. When you dedicate yourself to the service of the Lord, he doesn't delegate your responsibility to somebody else. Depending on your dedication, Krishna reciprocates. So, Yoga Kshema Vahamyaham means I will personally carry the burden of the maintenance of my devotees. And Prabhupada writes, I will supply whatever they don't have and I will preserve whatever they have. What does that mean? We'll discuss it a little more after a few minutes. But yoga and kshema has these meanings, right? Yoga means our attempt to connect with Krishna. Kshema means his reciprocation for our attempt, which he gives in the form of protection. So, when Krishna said yoga kshema vahamyaham, he is saying that my devotees' attempt to connect with me is also inspired by me, maintained by me. Means we cannot take credit for our ability or our attempt to serve Krishna also. Even our ability to serve Krishna or our inspiration to serve Krishna is also coming from Krishna only. Krishna inspires us to be on the path of yoga. And Krishna gives us that inspiration, gives us that facility to the degree we desire it. Right? When somebody is serious enough, seriously desiring to serve the Lord, to be connected with the Lord, then the Lord ensures that devotee gets all assistance and guidance to be on that path. Even if the motives are little impure, still the Lord gives that assistance to keep us on the path and eventually purifies those motives also. Dhruva is the best example. Dhruv Maharaj wanted to worship the Lord, wanted to do yoga, wanted to connect his consciousness with the Lord with a material ambition to get a position superior to his great grandfather Brahma. And the Lord has inspired Narada Muni to come and guide Dhruva on the path of devotion. And eventually Dhruva became a pure devotee. And whatever material desires are there within Dhruva, initially he wanted to perform worship of the Lord to attain a position superior to his great grandfather Brahma. He had a revengeful attitude towards his stepmother Suruchi, and he also was envious of stepbrother Uttama. 3 facets of material motives. In 3 ways, he has impure motives: envy, revengeful attitude, greed, material ambition. This is the internal mood of Dhruva when he approaches the Lord. But still, the Lord has provided the necessary guidance to Dhruva by arranging Narada Muni. And Narada Muni guided him in bhakti, and eventually Dhruva became so pure that he became so absorbed in bhakti that when the Lord appeared in front of Dhruva, Dhruva says that I don't want anything that I desired before. I want bhakti. He said, Yane vritis tanubhritam tavapada padma dhyanat bhavat jana katha shravanena vasyat sa brahmanisva mahimanyapi nathama bhutkim tvantakasi lulitat patatam vimanat. Something connected to the shloka that we recited today. He said, Ya Krishna's devotees and meditate on his lotus feet. That's how you attain happiness. That is a permanent happiness. In comparison to this happiness, sa brahmanisva mahimanyapi nathama bhut. What is the happiness of Brahman? Somebody wants to merge into the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord and want to retain some happiness there. That is called Brahmananda. What is with that Brahmananda? That Brahmananda is insignificant in comparison to this Bhakti-ananda. Krishna dasa abhimane ananda sindhu koti brahma sukha nahe tara eka bindu. Krishna Das Abhimana, the emotion of being a servant of Krishna, will immerse you in an ocean of spiritual bliss that in comparison to this ocean of spiritual bliss, in comparison to even a drop of this ocean of spiritual bliss, an ocean of Brahmananda is useless. You multiply that ocean of Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahmananda with 1 crore, and compare that enhanced Brahmananda with 1 drop of Bhakti-ananda, still it becomes insignificant. Koti Brahma Sukha Nahe Tara Eka Bindu. This is the realization of Dhruva. Therefore he said simply, Sa Brahmanisva Mahimanyapi Nathama Bhut Kim Tvantakasi Lulitat Patatam Vimanat. If Brahmananda is useless, Brahman is actually spiritual. Brahman, that is spiritual effulgence of the Lord. It is not like the light here. That is spiritual effulgence. But that also, that Ananda which is available in the spiritual effulgence of the Lord is also insignificant in comparison to an opportunity to render little service to the Lord. If that is useless, what to speak of Swargananda? Kim Tvantakasi Lulitat Patatam Vimana. Just like your fuel is exhausted, Patatam Vimana, your aircraft will crash down when there is no sufficient fuel. Similarly, when the fuel of your pious credits are exhausted, your ascent to the heavenly planets will be cancelled. Right? Patatam Vimana Kshivine Punye Martyalokam Vishakti. So Swargananda is out of question only. If Brahmananda is insignificant comparison to Bhakti-ananda, Swargananda has no room for comparison also. You can't even bring it for comparison. Keep it aside. Don't even bring it into the competition. Option A, B, C, D. In that A, B, C, D, even in D option also, Swargananda need not be there, should not be there. Obviously, people those who are attempting this MCQ will automatically eliminate this. Let me only eliminate this. Let's make the question tough. So, Swargananda is considered that insignificant. Because in bhakti, in the process of bhakti, the Lord will completely take ownership of the devotee. That's why he said, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Yoga. I will not only give him Kshema in response to his yoga, I will also assist him in his yoga. Yoga means our attempt towards Krishna. And even our attempt towards Krishna also is facilitated by Krishna only. Dhruva had simple desire, I want to worship the Lord, to get something material. But the Lord said, no problem. You have material motive, eventually bhakti will purify your material motive. But you want to worship me, right? Yes, I will provide all assistance. Narada Muni, go! Narada Muni was not there in Uttarpad's palace when Dhruva was being insulted. But Lord Vishnu inspired Narada Muni, go and assist Dhruva, guide him in the path of bhakti. Then Narada Muni came and guided. And after 6 months of chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya on the bank of Yamuna, in Madhuban, in Vrindavan, by worshipping the Lord with tulsi leaves, by making a small clay model of the Lord and then worshipping the Lord's deity, murti, with whatever local paraphernalia available in Vrindavan, Dhruva became completely purified in 6 months. And when the Lord appeared in front of him, he said, Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango bhuyadanantamahtam amalashayanam yenam jaswamana murum vyasanam bhavabhim neshye bhavad gunakatham mritapanamuttaham. He said, Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayi me prasango. My dear Lord, I don't want Swargananda, I don't want Brahmananda, I don't want position of Brahma also. I don't even want Ashtasiddhis, I don't want anything, I don't want liberation also. Then what do you want? Bhaktim muhu pravahatam tvayive prasango. In the association of devotees, bhakti is flowing like pravaha. Pravaha means flow, seamless flow, just like Ganga flows towards the ocean. In the association of devotees, inspiration to serve Krishna flows like an ocean, like a river. Bhaktim muhu, muhu means constantly. Pravahatam tvayive prasango. Bhuyadanantamahatam amalashayanam. Your devotees are amalashaya. They are pure-hearted. They have uncontaminated aspirations. I worshipped you earlier with some material aspirations, but your devotees are amalashayana. They have completely pure aspirations. Amalashayana. Yena jasolbana burum vyasanam bhavadhim neshye bhavat gunakatham mritapana. If I get to associate with such pure devotees, I will hear Harikatha. I will hear about your Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela in that vibrant association of devotees. And I am aspiring for that bliss. Don't give me position superior to Brahma. Don't kill my stepmother. Don't kill my stepbrother. Don't give me the position of my father. I don't want to sit on my father's throne anymore. I don't want any of those things. They are like broken pieces of glass. I want diamonds. What is diamond? An opportunity to hear Krishna Katha in the company of devotees, in the association of devotees. That's diamond. More valuable than diamond. And Dhruva aspired for that by practicing bhakti. And why did this happen? How did this happen? Because he got the guidance of Narada Muni. And why did he get the guidance of Narada Muni? Because the Lord has inspired Narada Muni to guide Dhruva. Yoga. Kshemam vahamyam. I will take care of their kshema also, prosperity. Whenever a devotee is in some troubles, the Lord will come and protect the devotees. Prahlad was in so many difficulties. The Lord came and protected. The Lord purifies the contaminated aspirations in the heart of a practitioner of Bhakti Yoga. Real protection is not just mere protection from material calamities. The real protection is protecting the consciousness from getting distracted towards Maya. Maya is presenting so many allurements and temptations in front of us constantly. And the real protection is to not get tempted by those allurements, distractions. Ananya Bhakti. That is the real protection. Prahlad was subjected to so many difficulties. But Prahlad's Krishna consciousness did not diminish even slightly. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana Gripnantu munchantu va Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja Vamshe kalankostu va Tadrak prema dharanuraga madhuna Mattaya manantu me Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi. Even for a moment, a devotee's chitta consciousness will not get distracted. Ananyascintayanto mam. Chittam naiva nivartate kshanamapi Sri Krishna padambujan. Devotee constantly meditates on the lotus feet of the Lord, are supposed to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord without any distractions. Nindantu priya bandhava gurujana. Devotee may be criticized, ninda. Prahlad is criticized. Priya bandhava, by his own bandhus, his own relatives criticized him, his own father criticized him. Gurujana, his own teachers criticized him. Shanghai Namarka. Gripnantu munchantu va. Let them accept me or reject me. This problem is. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va. Durvadam means gossip. There was a gossip about Prahlad Maharaj throughout the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu. You know what? Hiranyakashipu's son, the son of the king of the demons, he became a devotee of Lord Hari, talk of the town, in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom. Durvadam, so much gossip about him. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va. Vamsha kalanka means a bad reputation for the family. Prahlad was criticized that you are not a bona fide member of Rakshasa dynasty. That is correct. That's correct. Shandai Navarka said, Prahlad, you are like the handle of an axe. And that axe is Lord Vishnu. And this demonic dynasty is like a sandalwood forest. With this axe of Vishnu, which is supported by the handle of Prahlad, this sandalwood forest is being cut down. You are a black mark on the pure reputation of our demonic dynasty. Similarly, Hare Krishna. A devotee is criticized for taking to the path of bhakti. Durvadam parighoshayantu manuja vamshe kalankostu va. Tadrik prema dharanuraga madhuna mattaya manam tume. But still, as long as the devotee is experiencing the love of Krishna, anuraga, affection of Krishna, even in sadhaka stays, we experience that love and affection of Krishna. How many of us? Many of us are sadhakas. Some of you may be siddhas, I don't know. But many of us are sadhakas. Even in this sadhaka stays also, we must have experienced some little love and affection from Krishna, right? Not some, a lot. Beyond what we deserve also. So many opportunities to serve the Lord. So much opportunity to study Shastra. With Prabhupada's grace, we have a big wealth, treasure house of literature, spiritual literature, in a language that we can understand. Sanskrit commentaries, how can we study? How many of us know Sanskrit? Some of us may know, but not many know on this planet. But Prabhupada has made the essence of all those wonderful, brilliant Sanskrit commentaries of previous acharyas accessible to all of us in a language that we can understand, English. So much of fortune. All this is anuraga of Krishna. Tatra prema dharanuraga madhuna mattaya manam tumi. Mattaya. Let me get intoxicated. The devotee gets intoxicated by the anuraga, the affection that Krishna is showing upon us. And the devotee's heart becomes completely filled with gratitude for all the love and affection that he received from Krishna through the parampara. When that is there, no distraction in bhakti, no deviation in bhakti, no absorption in pious activities and ritualistic activities, yajna, dana, tapa, to go to heaven. Same thing Prahlad also said, Neshye bhavat guna katha amrita pana matta. Pana matta. People drink and become intoxicated. Pana means drinking. Matta means to get intoxicated. They drink and they get intoxicated. Ordinary drunkards. Devotees also, they drink Krishna Katha and they get intoxicated. Neshe bhavat guna kathamrita pana matta. So what kind of drinking intoxicates a devotee? Krishna's guna kathamrita. Narration of Krishna's nectarian qualities will intoxicate a devotee, and a devotee who is intoxicated in this way will never get distracted by any allurements of Maya and become fixed up in bhakti. And tetam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam. All that vishala swarga doesn't attract a devotee at all. Vishala swarga. Sargalok is very vishal. Are you excited to come there? No. What? Swargaloka? Even if you give Brahmaloka, also I am not excited. Vritrasana says, Nanata prishtham nacha parameshtham na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. Nanaka prishtham. I don't want. Naka prishtham means I don't want heavenly happiness. Nanaka prishtham nacha parameshtham. You want Brahma's position? You are rejecting heavenly position. Means you want Brahma's position? No, I don't want Brahma's position also. Indra position is definitely great, but that is only for 1/40 of one day of Brahma. But Brahma, 100 years. You want Brahma's position? No, I don't want Parameshtam also. I don't want Brahma's position also. Nanaka Prishtam, Nacha Parameshtam. Oh, then you are more interested in earthly planet? No, na Sarvabhaumam. I don't want to rule this entire earthly realm also. So top 7 planetary systems are rejected by Vritrasana. Then somebody may question him. So you want lower planets? Atala, Vitala, Sotala, Rasatala, Tavatala, Mahatala, Patala. You want that? No. Nanaka Prishtam, Nacha Parameshtam, na Sarvabhaumam, na Rasadhipatyam. I don't want Rasadhipatyam also. I don't want lower planets also. Then what do you want? You want Yoga Siddhis? There are some people who have so many mystic siddhis. They can go up, they can go down. They don't have permanent residence in one planet, but because of the siddhis, they can go to Brahmaloka, they can go to Padaloka, they can go to Bhuloka, they can go to Swargaloka, they can go to any loka. You want that kind of siddhis? He says, Na Yoga Siddham. Then what do you want? You want liberation from this universe completely? Apunar Bhavamba. I don't want liberation from this cycle of birth and death also. Then what do you want? Samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. My kangsha. Because I am in a situation of separation from the Lord, my kangsha, my desire is to reunite with the Lord. Is to serve the Lord. You keep me anywhere in 14 planetary systems, no issue. You can send me to hell also, not an issue. Narayana parasarve nakutaschana vibhrati swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshina. You keep a devotee in the spiritual world or the material world, you keep a devotee in the upper planets or lower planets or send him to hell. Devotee is absorbed in bhakti only. Narayana parasarve nakutaschana vibhrati, no fear. Swarga means heaven. Apavarga means liberation. Narakeshu means hell. All together same. Api tulyartha darshina. Tulya means same effect. Wherever you keep. Because devotee is more excited in bhakti, in serving the Lord, wherever the devotee is. Therefore, devotees don't take interest in this going up and coming down, Brahmanda Brahman. They can do Brahmanda Brahman to preach the glories of Krishna, not for sightseeing, not to enjoy those planets, but they want to do Brahmanda Brahman only to enlighten people in this material world, bring them closer to Krishna. Janasya Krishna vimukhasya daivan adharmashilasya sudukhritasya anugrahayeha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janartanasya. Janasya Krishna vimukhasya. There are so many people in this world who have turned their faces away from Krishna. Krishna vimukha. Vimukhasya daivan. They are averse to a sense of subordination to the Lord. Because of that, adharmashilasya, they became so adharmic, unrighteous. And because of that, sudukhidasya, they are absorbing so much of dukkha, unhappiness. Anugrahayeha charanti nunam, to show anugraha, to show mercy, compassion on such people. Great souls like Srila Prabhupada travel from one place to another place. A devotee is not interested in any place as such. No geographical location, however beautiful it may be, it cannot excite a devotee. What excites a devotee is to come to be closer to Krishna and to bring more people closer to Krishna. Oneself be Krishna conscious and to make few other people also become Krishna conscious. That's what excites a devotee. Nothing else can excite a devotee. When this intention is clear, ecstasy is guaranteed. When that intention is not there, when there is no purity of intention, then forget ecstasy, there is only anxiety. That's why advancement and satisfaction in bhakti are dependent on the purity of our intentions. I am not saying this. Bhagavatam itself is saying this. This is the first teaching of Bhagavatam. Sutta Goswami. He says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaji ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo, the supreme dharma, the supreme duty or supreme engagement of all living entities is yato bhaktiradhokshaji, to perform pure unmotivated devotional service unto adhokshaja Krishna. Aituki apratihata. And that bhakti must be performed without any hetus, without any material motives. And apratihata, without any interruptions or irregularities or inconsistencies. To the degree our bhakti is devoid of any material motives and inconsistencies and irregularities, to that degree, yayatma suprasidati, our heart becomes satisfied. Advancement and satisfaction in devotional service depends on the purity of our intent and the consistency of our intent. When there is consistency in our practice and when there is purity in our motives, then satisfaction is guaranteed. And even if we have impure motives, as we discussed Dhruva's example, Krishna will eventually purify the motives. Therefore, the recommendation is bhakti, whatever it may be. Recommendation is bhakti. Akamah sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether we have all kinds of desires or no desire or desiring liberation, perform bhakti. That's the recommendation of Bhagavatam. In the further shlokas of this chapter, Krishna further glorifies the process of bhakti yoga. If you go 2-3 shlokas ahead, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yove bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. Patram, you offer a little leaf. Pushpam, you offer flower. Phalam, fruit. Toyam, water. But do it with devotion, do it with love, do it with affection. Upahritam means upahar, you just do a gift. When you offer a gift to someone, you don't expect anything in return. If you are expecting something in return, then it is not ahituki. This is not gift. So we need to understand that to the degree our motives are pure, to the degree we don't have any undue material, unreasonable expectations from the Lord, to that degree we can advance in bhakti, we can be satisfied in bhakti, we can relish the process of bhakti. And that's what Krishna says in the 9th chapter ahead. When there are material desires, any other process other than bhakti cannot purify those material desires. Only bhakti can purify our material desires. See, this is shloka from the Padyavali. संसाराम्भसि संभृत भ्रम भरे गंभीरता पत्रय. Not this one. Another shloka. काषायान्न च भोजनादि नियमान्नो वावने वासतो व्याख्यानादथवा मुनिव्रतभरात् चित्तोद्भव क्षीयते. किन्तु स्फीटकलिन्दशैलतनया तीरे च विक्रीडतो गोविन्दस्य पदारविन्दभजनारम्भस्य लेशादपि. काषायान्न च भोजनादि नियमान्. Kashaya means saffron cloth. If you wear saffron cloth, your material desires will be destroyed? No, not necessarily. Bhojanadi niyaman, you regulate your diet. You eat less. Will the material desires be destroyed? No. Kashayanna cha bhojanadi niyaman, no vavane vasato. Vanavas. You give up this big city and enter a secluded forest and do some vanavas. Will that destroy the material desires? Not necessarily. Kashayana cha bhojanadi niyaman no bhavane vasato. Vyakhyana, by studying Sanskrit commentaries elaborately, doing some grammatical analysis, linguistic analysis, poetic analysis, philosophical analysis, intellectual analysis. Will the material desires go away? Not necessarily. They may have some effect, but not necessary. Vyakhyanadatava mudivrata bharat. Mudivrata bharat means you take vows of silence. Very intense vows of silence. I will not speak. Will that destroy the material desires? No, not necessarily. Mudivrata bharat chittodbhava kshiyate. The material desires in the mind, in chitta, will not be diminished. किंतु स्फीटकलिन्दशैलतनया क्रीडे च तीरे च विक्रीडतो गोविन्दस्य पदारविन्दभजनारम्भस्य लेशादपि. The material desires are destroyed only when you do arambha, only when you commence the worship of the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. Govindasya padaravindabhajana arambhasya leshadati. Kintu स्फीटकलिन्दशैलतनया तीरे च विक्रीडतो. That Krishna is walking or dancing or strolling on the bank of Kalinda, means Yamuna river. You look at him. If you have material desires, if you want to maintain the material desires, don't look at him. Don't see him. There is a warning given to all of us. If at all you have material desires, don't go to Vrindavan, don't go to the bank of Yamuna, don't go to Keshi Ghat, don't see Krishna standing in a threefold bending form, don't hear Krishna playing flute. You will not be able to maintain the material desires. Very dangerous. Don't go there. Basically, the recommendation is go there. When you go to Krishna and look at the beautiful form of Krishna, it's not that we are taking darshan of Krishna. Krishna is seeing us. We are seeing Krishna, but Krishna is seeing us. When Krishna sees us, his loving glances will create spiritual desires within us. Naturally, our material desires are destroyed. So Krishna's glances will create spiritual desires in us, will maintain spiritual desires in us, and will fulfill the spiritual desires within us. Creation of spiritual desires, maintenance of spiritual desires, and fulfillment of spiritual desires is possible when we take darshan of Krishna, when we expose ourselves to the glances, loving glances of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Bhagavatam says this. 10th canto, 14th chapter, you can read. Very beautiful episode there, this is mentioned. The Lord's glances will induce spiritual desires in us. Sometimes we may have a spiritual desire, but we may not be able to maintain it. How many times we have had some nice spiritual desire, but after 2 days we don't have that intensity in desiring it, right? It just kind of fades. I want to read Bhagavad Gita, I want to read Bhagavatam every day half an hour. I have taken a vow. I will do it. After 2-3 days, 15 minutes should be sufficient. After 1 week, alternate days should be okay. That's more practical. After 1 month, I think once in a month is okay. Like many other books also, many other things also. Then after 2 months, I read now once. Why should I read again? We should not take such kind of vows. Right? So we may get a spiritual desire, but we may not be able to maintain it sometimes. But by taking darshan of the Lord, we will be able to maintain the desire also. Sometimes you have burning material, burning spiritual desire. I want to do this, I want to do that. But you are unable to do. You are able to maintain it, but you are unable to fulfill it. But by taking darshan of the Lord, by exposing ourselves to the wonderful, loving glances of the Lord, eventually we will be able to fulfill the spiritual desires also. So when this kind of nectar is available to us, we will embrace that meager opportunity to enter the heavens only to come back to earth. However exalted the position that we attain in the heaven is, we cannot maintain it for a longer time. Because the position is temporary, the planet itself is temporary. So we should never aspire for that. That's what Prabhupada is recommending in this beautiful purport. Instead, focus on bhakti. Render service to the Lord. Even if you have contaminated aspirations, even if you have material desires, still you start the practice of bhakti only. Don't go anywhere else. So that kind of zeal to practice bhakti alone and not get distracted by the allurements of the Vedas and different kinds of falashrutis at the end of different episodes in Bhagavatam or many other Puranas. Don't get tempted by it. They are there only to attract and allure people to the path of bhakti. Somehow or the other, let's attract their attention so that they will get this. Just like Dhruva wanted to worship the Lord with a material desire. Somehow or the other he wanted to worship the Lord, right? So the Lord caught that. Although it is Sakama Bhakti, Bhakti is remained and Sakama is gone. Sakama is destroyed and Bhakti is retained. So don't just be in the repeated cycle of birth and death, like very cycle, as Prabhupada says. Just focus on Bhakti and take shelter to the Lord. And in the later shlokas, even if a devotee happens to do some mistakes, in the later shlokas of 9th chapter, Krishna reveals, even if my devotee happens to do some mistakes, still I will protect him. Api chet sudaracharo bhajate ma mananya bhak sadhureva samantavyaha samyak yavasito hi saha. Even if a devotee commits some abominable activities, still, if he sticks to bhakti, ananya bhakti, ananya bhak, ananya word again comes there. If one sticks to Ananya Bhakti, then Krishna will reinstate the devotee back in his or her position as a servant of the Lord very soon. That does not mean through that shloka Krishna is giving a license to a devotee to behave whimsically and deliberately commit mistakes. But if one accidentally, incidentally, not in a premeditated way, circumstantially, does a mistake, or because of the force of the past habit, if a devotee does a mistake, Krishna will not penalize the devotee so much, but Krishna will somehow or the other accommodate the devotee and gives another opportunity to come back to normal state. It's not a license to perform any deliberate mistakes. So there are so many shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita and many other scriptures, especially Bhagavatam, where Krishna's supreme degree of mercy is demonstrated. All these merciful episodes are not meant to encourage us to become complacent in devotional service. Uddhava says in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, Ahobakiyam stanaka alakutam jighamsa yapayayadapya sadhvi lebhegatim dhatruchitam tatonyam kamvatayalum sharanam rajeva. Who else can be more merciful than Krishna, who gave the position of motherly nurse to demoness Putana, who came with a malicious intention to kill Krishna? Now, devotee should not think that After all, I am not like Putna. If not motherly position, he will give me brotherly position. At least I am not feeding Krishna poison. I am only giving normal milk to Krishna every day while ringing bell. So I think that's sufficient for me. That's not meant to make us less serious or more complacent in devotional service. That's only meant to help us appreciate Krishna's mercy. If Krishna can give that much mercy to demons, how much mercy Krishna will give to a devotee who is sincere? Let me become more sincere. That quality of Krishna, compassion of Krishna should make us more helplessly get attracted towards Krishna and fall in love with Krishna and seriously practice bhakti. Not become complacent in bhakti. When we were students, 35% is the pass mark. If you get 35, 36, 37, you are passed. You can be promoted to the next grade. I don't know about the modern education. But why aspire for 35 only? Why not 80? Why not 90? Why not 100? So one should not take undue advantage of these concessions or incentives given in scriptures and become lax in bhakti or complacent in bhakti. All these episodes of Krishna's extreme degree of mercy should only inspire us to get more and more attracted towards him. Oh, Krishna is so merciful. Let me just come closer to Krishna by intensifying my practice of bhakti. Apichet Sudaracharo is not a license to behave whimsically. Ajamil episode is not a license for us to do anything and everything throughout one's life. At the end of life, say Narayana. Ante Narayana Sputi. And go back to Godhead. But please understand, Ajamil did not go back to Godhead immediately. He was given a second chance. Prabhupada writes a full book on second chance. One more chance is given. Then in 12 years he practiced bhakti sincerely and he went back. So the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is very encouraging. When Krishna reveals his heart, he explained the simplicity of bhakti by saying Patram Krishna Phalam. He also explained the accessibility of bhakti so nicely by Yat Karoshi Yadashnasi Yat Juhoshi Dadasiyat. He also described his own kindness and compassionate forgiveness by Apichet Sudaracharo Shloka. He also described how implementable and practical is bhakti by speaking Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Shloka. And he also talked about how he personally protects a devotee, carries the burden of the maintenance of his devotee by speaking Ananyas Chintayantamam Shloka. And he also spoke about the futility of endeavors that take us to heavenly planets by speaking Shriya Punya Bhartilokam Vishanti Tetam Bhukta Swargalokam Vishalam Shloka. So 9th chapter is very, very exciting. By understanding the heart of Krishna, we need to give our heart to Krishna. That's the real essence or conclusive categorical message of Bhagavad Gita. Offer your heart to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Ma shuchaha, don't worry. So this is the message. What's the time now? I don't know. What's the time? I didn't cross time. Okay. We will stop here. If you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Just a quick question. Sometimes we don't pray for ourselves, this heavenly planets or these kind of material, sometimes our own spiritual benefits. But is it good to pray for others? Others in the sense that we pray, what kind of prayers we should do for others? In the sense, sometimes we are praying for people that please, his disease should be removed, or maybe somebody lost his life, give him sadgati and those kind of prayers. Sometime back in the youth class also we were discussing self-realization and self-preservation. Sometimes your material prosperity or a comfort in material situation will facilitate your spiritual practice. As you said, can you pray for someone's health? If that bad health is an obstruction in that person's bhakti, the devotee's bhakti, your praying for the devotee's good health will facilitate the devotee's bhakti, right? That's good. That's a spiritual prayer. So ultimately, whatever you are desiring for yourself or others should only help your practice of bhakti better. So if that spiritual goal is set, then whatever you do on the material platform will become a part of attaining that spiritual goal. Does that make sense? Correct.
Does it even work? Does it even work?
Prayers, whether they work or not, depends on the
Get somebody help, get somebody. Do we even work?
prayers work always. However, the actual prayer of a devotee is not to go against the will of the Lord. Oh Lord, if you so desire, please improve the health of this devotee. But if Krishna has a different plan, where he doesn't want to improve the health, he wants to just end his life here and take him back to Godhead, take him to the spiritual world, giving him his loving company, then who are we to intrude into his plan? We desire, this is a wonderful devotee, we want this devotee's loving association. Krishna, if you so desire, please keep him here, so that we can serve him, we can take inspiration from him, we can learn from him. So that is the general prayer of a devotee, if you so desire. But if Krishna plans something else, then let that happen.
If you so desire, then why say it?
Then don't say it. Up to you. Nobody is forcing you to pray. It is your desire to have the association of that devotee. Because the devotee's association is very inspiring. So devotee always desires to keep oneself in the vibrant association of other devotees. So and also devotee desires that other devotees should not suffer, should not experience any physical ailments or whatever. So with that mood of being paradukha dukhi, a devotee offers this prayer. But ultimately, the Lord, it's your will, my dear Lord. I feel like this, but ultimately your will prevails. Krishna's will prevails. That's the balance. Does it make sense? Yes,
Thank you for wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, earlier you mentioned about Ananya Bhakti. So can you please define or explain what is Ananya Bhakti? Because sometimes after spending few years in Krishna consciousness, we think I am chanting every day 16 rounds, reading somehow whenever I get time, and then we tend to go into ritualistic mode. So can you please explain what is Ananya Bhakti and how we can go to that form?
Ananya. Anya means something else, as we discussed. Ananya means nothing else. Ananya Bhakti basically means not desiring anything which is disconnected from devotional service. Anya bhilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttam. Anukulyena krishnanushilanam. Whatever is favorable for advancement in bhakti, that you desire. And our desires for self-preservation, like to eat or to sleep or to evacuate or to whatever do on the physical platform, our desire for self-preservation would not put us out of the realm of pure bhakti. So whatever is favorable for bhakti, we desire. That is Ananya Bhakti. That's the definition of Ananya Bhakti. Now you decide what is favorable to you. And if you are unable to figure out what is favorable, take guidance from other devotees. Spiritual master is there. Many senior Vaishnavas are there. You can see what is favorable for our bhakti. And even if we think that this is favorable for my bhakti, although it is not, after some time we will realize it. then we'll come back to the real, we come back to desiring things that are only favorable. But sometimes we may think it is favorable, but it is not favorable. It takes some time for us to realize it. That's okay. We may make some mistakes. That's okay. Taking able guidance will avoid those mistakes to happen. But even if some mistakes happen, devotee doesn't feel discouraged. We move on in bhakti. Does it make sense?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class. My question is, you were saying Yoga Kshema Mahamyam. So Yoga Krishna helps with yoga also, which is our desire for performing bhakti. So sometimes when we desire, like you said, at certain points you have intensity of devotional service and you desire for it, and we think linearly that I put one step, Krishna comes towards 10 steps, and we assume, okay, this is how it might be. But sometimes something else happens and materialistic things take over in your life, and we are not able to understand because we are desiring for something with some amount of honesty, but what is happening is apparently opposite to it. So how do we understand this?
Okay. If our desires to advance in bhakti are really sincere, really intense, and still what's actually happening in life, practically happening in life, seem to be totally incompatible with our desires, we need to take them, those incidents or those circumstances, as tests for our determination, as opportunities for our purification. Instead of losing inspiration in bhakti. Sometimes, how intense is our desire, how determined are we in bhakti, we will understand only when a serious obstacle comes in picture. Let me give a simple example. Bali Maharaj wanted to offer everything to the Lord. As soon as Bali Maharaj saw Vamanadev, just the mere darshan of Vamanadev made Bali Maharaj feel so surrendered that I want to offer prostrated obeisances to him, I have to do Atmanivedana. But he restrained himself. Oh, no. I am the king of demons. How can I offer obeisances to this Vishnu who is coming? What will my guru think? What will the other demons think? He kind of restrained himself. But later he thought, oh, although he is the Lord, but he is coming as a Brahmana boy and I am a Kshatriya king. A Kshatriya king washing the feet or welcoming a Brahmana is not against culture. Demons also will accept it. So he got that idea and he started washing the lotus feet of Amandev. And he wanted to offer himself completely. And he asked, what do you want, my dear boy? The boy said, Vamandev said, I want 3 steps. He said, you take it, please. Then Sukracharya came in between. He said, don't give 3 steps. He will occupy the entire universe within 2 steps and he will not be able to fulfill your promise of giving 3 steps also. Please don't give. Vamanadev's full plan is completely revealed to Sukracharya. And Sukracharya, the spiritual master, the guru of Bali, told him, don't offer. Such a great obstacle. He wanted to do Atmanivedana, suddenly big obstacle came. Okay. Exact scenario that you are describing. Obstacle came. Guru says, don't do it. How can a disciple say no to Guru? And on top of it, this Guru Sukracharya has done so much to reinstate Bali Maharaj in his position now, which he is currently. Without Sukracharya reviving Bali Maharaj from a situation of death by employing his Vrata Sanjeevani mantra, Bali Maharaj would not have survived also. So much he has done, this Guru has done so much to the disciple, and at this moment, Bali Maharaj has to make a decision. Should I reject my Guru or accept his instructions? He has done so much for me. But Bali Maharaj felt that, yes, although Sukracharya made me alive. Although Sukracharya performed Vishwajit Yajna so that I can conquer heavenly planets, although he is my spiritual master, culturally and traditionally I am supposed to follow him, still surrender to the Lord is more important for me. So it's a test for his surrender. It's a test for his determination. Dhruv Maharaj said, "Oh, Sukracharya, although you are instructing me, you are cursing me also, no issue. You do whatever you want. I will give everything to Anand." So whenever although we intensely desire to come closer to the Lord, the situation in front of us is totally against our desire. That's a test for our determination. Same thing with Pandavas and many other devotees. Does it answer your question? Shall we conclude here?
Guruji, one more last question. Namaste. My name is Mayur. This is me.
Yeah.
I should stand.
No need.
Namaste. Guruji, recently I lost my father around 2 months ago. I want to understand what would be the great tribute to him spiritually, as per Bhagavad Gita or as per our teachings.
We pray to Lord Jagannath Ji to give the departed soul an opportunity to continue the spiritual life wherever the Lord decides his next life, if at all it exists. If he has gone back to earth, that's great. If he has gone to Vaikuntha, that's great. But if not, we can pray to the Lord to give those devotees, those departed souls, an opportunity to progress spiritually. Thank you. I request His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu to add any comments, any corrections, comments, anything. You have to hear a few words also. But still, if I hear a few words from you, my visit to Singapore will be completed. So,
we are just very grateful that you have come. We have waited for a long time.
something on the shloka that we discussed on the sides.
We are very grateful that you have come. And finally, after so much of hearing about you from so many devotees and so much of your inspiration in the congregation of devotees here, finally we are seeing you in person. We are having a darshan, we are having your association. I think the association of devotees like you, congregations become inspired and they will grow. You were mentioning how important it is to maintain devotional purity. So I think having association of devotees coming through, like yourself, it will not only create devotional purity, but for many of us who are trying to maintain it, because maintenance sometimes is more challenging than creation, it is really helping a lot of us that way. So this is the only thing I can say, and I think I speak for everyone here, that the next time we should organize a longer time so that more segments of our congregation, the universities, the other youths, the other children, and so many other programs that we do around Singapore, they can also benefit. So thank you. This is my realization. Shloka, no shloka, this is my realization. Thank you.
I was hoping to hear some Harikatha, but anyways, yeah.
So you have given us so much. There is more than enough. That is our application. Thank you, Prabhu. Can we have 3 very, very loud Hari Bols for Gauranga?
Hari Bol! Hari Bol!